All right, guys. Big news day today, huh? You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the corruption detector. This is your Red Pill News for Friday Night Live. I am turning off the experiencing technical difficulties notification. There we go. Yeah, Puppy Power. YouTube hates this channel. That's right. All right, guys. I'm here. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Good. Good. Okay. Excellent. So, today was crazy. Today was a big news day. We had Roger Stone, ally of President Donald Trump, known Trump associates, as they would say in the fake stream media. Roger Stone was arrested today. All right, so we're going to watch this video of Roger Stone being arrested. And I want to remind you that CNN had a live exclusive. Don't worry, I'm pulling up the screen right now. Boom. Boom. CNN had a live exclusive of Roger Stone being arrested. Their cameraman showed up at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. That's pretty early. Something tells me he had a notification. Somebody told him that he should be at Roger Stone's house in his gated community. I don't know if it's gated, but I just imagine Roger Stone living in a really nice neighborhood. But, so he was there. He showed up at 5 a.m. and he sat up, waiting. He had his camera ready and everything. And then, next thing you know, oh my goodness, his hunch was right. His hunch was right. The FBI showed up. The FBI shows up, and all hell breaks loose. Let's watch what happened. From CNN. This will be without sound so I can give commentary. All right. Breaking news. CNN. FBI arrests Roger Stone. Look at this. Look at these guys running in with flak jackets and their weapons drawn. That guy's carrying like 4 guns. So intimidating. Can you imagine, guys, if you woke up at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, and you had 12 to 18 FBI agents standing at your door, and now they go, boom, 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 FBI, open up. Boom, boom, boom. FBI, we have a warrant. Boom, boom, boom. So this guy right here taking the footage, he was an FBI agent. He previously worked for the FBI. He left, I guess, in February. And guess who he worked with? He was the assistant to James Comey. The assistant to James Comey. So, something tells me that James Comey knew about this because the special counsel's office tipped him off about it. And then he shows up at Roger Stone's doorstep, and he gets to see him getting arrested, gets to broadcast it live for CNN. Now, nobody else knew, all right? What does that tell you? That tells you that CNN is at the tip of the spear for this fake stream attack on the president, on his associates. Just disgusting. Disgusting. And it goes on like this. Roger Stone, okay? Can you believe Roger Stone, that guy? They go in and they break open his door with guns and vests, paramilitary gear. Casey Carlson, thank you very much for the super chat. They're trying to quiet down the truth. That's right. They don't want the truth out there. They only want their approved narrative. All right? And we're not part of that approved narrative. From the Gateway Pundit, raw video shows that CNN colluded with the FBI to film Roger Stone's SWAT-style raid and arrest. Raw video posted to Twitter by CNN freelance cameraman Gilbert De La Rosa of the FBI arrest of Roger Stone early Friday morning at his home in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, shows De La Rosa was parked right in front of Stone's house, waiting for the FBI to show up, and that when they did, when they arrived, the FBI ignored him as he got out of his vehicle to film, instead of treating him as a potentially armed hostile actor or innocent bystander at a heavily armed surprise pre-dawn raid. Shannon Boss, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, can you guys imagine if any other normal person would have been there? They would have been like, FBI, get on the ground. FBI, stay in your car. FBI, what are you doing here? We're here to serve a warrant for nothing, for process crimes. That the FBI completely ignored De La Rosa as he got out of his vehicle when they arrived indicates FBI agents were told in advance a CNN cameraman and reporter would be on scene, waiting to film the pre-dawn raid and arrest of Stone. Those instructions would have come from higher-ups showing that CNN, the FBI Special Counsel Robert Mueller's office, colluded to put CNN front and center for the raid. From my viewfinder, Roger Stone's home getting raided. Look, what a dork. He's there filming it with his own camera, and he's got his phone out looking through his viewfinder to watch. God, you couldn't just take the raw footage when you were done, Gilbert? Watching the video is stunning to see De La Rosa roll down his window and then step out of his vehicle as the FBI agents pull up and exit their vehicles in tactical gear with weapons drawn, and not one FBI agent points his weapon at De La Rosa. They don't even speak to him to check him out. It's like he's part of the FBI team. Rhonda Kelly, he was arrested for process crimes, for lying to the special counsel. Nothing that would indicate he was violent or a potential flight risk or anything like that. And then here again, we have the tweet from CNN. FBI, open the door. President Trump criticized the heavy-handed tactics used to arrest his friend and a former campaign advisor, Roger Stone. Trump also questioned how CNN was there waiting to film the raid. Yeah, I'm questioning that. Greatest witch hunt in the history of our country. No collusion. Border coyotes, drug dealers, and human traffickers are treated better. Who alerted CNN to be there? CNN says, CNN's ability to capture the arrest of Roger Stone was the result of determined reporting and interpreting clues revealed in the course of events. That's called journalism. Whatever. Prepping Sapper, thank you so much. They needed some theater to achieve credibility. Yeah, or maybe they had something they wanted to cover up today. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Okay, so we're supposed to believe that this guy was living out front in front of Roger Stone's house. He was just waiting. Because I didn't see any clues this week. They weren't talking about Roger Stone. There wasn't anything going on. Roger Stone is a media fixture, all right? But I haven't seen any reporting on him for at least a couple of days. What if he is Q? What if this guy is Q? I don't think it's likely. CNN producer David Shortell described in a video report how he and De La Rosa were close enough to see Stone answer the door, wearing pajamas and eyeglasses, and hear him identify himself to the agents during the pre-dawn raid. Shortell said he and De La Rosa were moved away from Stone's house shortly after that. During his report for CNN, Shortell is seen standing in daylight across from an intersection to Stone Street that is blocked by police cars. CNN's description of their reporting does not explain how they were treated as part of the team by the FBI. With all those clues, it was decided to send Shortell from Washington to Florida to stake out Stone's house Friday morning, just in case the clues did add up to something. What clues? What clues did they have? As of Thursday night, neither Stone nor his attorney believed he would be arrested on Friday morning. They also were convinced that Stone would have an opportunity to turn himself in rather than an unexpected pre-dawn arrest at home. Shortell and De La Rosa arrived at Stone's home at 5 a.m., and the Fort Lauderdale house was totally dark. For roughly an hour, it wasn't clear whether the stakeout would turn out to be a bust, but then just after 6 a.m., a number of law enforcement vehicles with lights flashing but no sirens pulled in front of Stone's home on a darkened street. About a dozen officers with heavy weapons and tactical vests fanned out across Stone's lawn. Law enforcement shined a flashlight into Stone's front door, and one officer rapped against it, shouting, FBI, open the door. The agent shouted seconds later, FBI, warrant. The Gateway Pundit's Christina Layla reported Friday that Judicial Watch is looking at investigating whether the FBI colluded with CNN on the Stone raid. I'd have to say the CNN certainly colluded with the FBI. CNN definitely was in on it. Tom Fitton weighs in and says, curious, Mueller indictment of Stone details Clinton communications with and pressure on WikiLeaks. About the emails. Will Clinton operation be investigated? All right, so what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to play the video on my phone so the audio will go through, because I think this is important, what Sarah Sanders has to say in this video that I'm about to show. Well, in a moment. First, we're gonna read this article from Sarah Carter as I get this pulled up here. But Sarah Sanders had some very interesting things to say. All right, so Sarah Carter breaks it down, saying that the FBI raided the Florida home of longtime associate of President Trump, Roger Stone, who has been under investigation by Robert Mueller's special counsel in the Russian election interference investigation. CNN was the only network to have the video of the pre-dawn raid. The video shows an FBI agent banging on the door and shouting, "FBI, open the door, warrant." Stone was indicted Thursday by a grand jury, but is not accused of coordinating with Russia's election interference. Instead, Mueller's office has charged him with witness tampering, obstruction, and false statements, according to the indictment. DOJ spokesperson Peter Carr said in an email that Stone will appear before a federal judge in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at 11 a.m. That was this morning. Roger Jason Stone, Jr., 66, of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, was arrested in Fort Lauderdale today following an indictment by a federal grand jury on January 24, 2019 in the District of Columbia, a statement released by the special counsel states. The indictment, which was unsealed upon arrest, contains 7 counts. 1 count of obstruction of an official proceeding, 5 counts of false statements, and 1 count of witness tampering, the statement reveals. It appeared from the video that a half dozen police vehicles, at least a dozen officers and FBI agents with large weapons and tactical vests, stormed Stone's home. Stone, who was in his pajamas, came to his doorway. "Are you Roger Stone?" an FBI agent asks the disheveled Stone, who was wearing pajamas and glasses. "Yes," replies Stone. The indictment reveals Stone's conversations about the stolen Democratic emails posted by WikiLeaks just weeks before Trump won the election. After the July 22, 2016 release of stolen Democratic National Committee emails and John Podesta emails, I notice how people don't ever tend to say that. John Podesta's emails were the ones. We're directed to contact Stone about any additional releases and what other damaging information Organization 1 had regarding the Clinton campaign, according to the indictment. Stone thereafter told the Trump campaign about potential future releases of damaging material by Organization 1. Organization 1 is referring to WikiLeaks, which later released the damaging emails. Mueller's indictment says, according to the indictment, October 7th, 2016, after WikiLeaks released the first batch of emails connected to then campaign chairman John Podesta's emails, there we go, Stone received a text message from an associate of the high-ranking Trump campaign official. The text message said, "Well done." The Trump campaign knew about Stone's involvement in seeking information on the Democrats, the complaint states. The indictment does not name either the associate or the high-ranking campaign official. It, however, describes Stone telling a reporter that Assange has unreleased emails that would be good for the campaign. "I'll tell the high-ranking campaign official, but he doesn't call me back," said Stone in an email, according to the indictment. By in or around August 2016, Stone was claiming both publicly and privately to have communicated with WikiLeaks, the indictment states. By in or around mid-August 2016, WikiLeaks made a public statement denying direct communication with Stone. Stone claims that his communication with WikiLeaks had occurred through a person Stone described as a mutual friend, go-between, and intermediary. Stone also continued to communicate with the members of the Trump campaign about WikiLeaks and its intended future releases. While the special counsel's office stated that Stone's testimony to Congress was a lie, the indictment states. Further, he is also being charged with lying to the special counsel about his communications with the Trump campaign about WikiLeaks. After WikiLeaks released its second batch of emails, Stone bragged to senior Trump campaign officials that he had correctly predicted the data dump, according to the indictment. Stone has stated publicly that he has no knowledge about the WikiLeaks when WikiLeaks would release the emails. The indictment points to a letter Stone wrote to the House Intelligence Committee on May 22nd, 2017, where Stone states he has no documents, records, or electronically stored information, regardless of form, other than those widely available that reasonably could lead to this discovery of any facts within the investigation's publicly announced parameters. Later, on September 26, 2017, Stone testified to the committee that these hearings are largely based on a yet unproven allegation that the Russian state is responsible for the hacking of the DNC and the Clinton campaign chairman, John Podesta, and the transfer of that information to WikiLeaks. Members of this committee had made certain assertions against me, which must be rebutted here today, he stated. We're going to take a look at the actual indictment here in a moment. But first of all, I have this video showing Sarah Sanders making a statement. Let me get it pulled up so I can play it. Gotta play it on my phone for you guys. I gotta sync it.
Will this same standard apply to people like Hillary Clinton, James Comey, Clapper? Will we see these same people who we know have also made false statements? Will that same standard apply? And that's a question that we'll have to see what happens on that front.
Let me read you a paragraph from this 24-page indictment.
So will it? Does this mean that we're going to see reciprocity? Are people going to be treated the same way? Or is it just when you're an associate of Donald Trump that you are going to get treated like this? Now, Roger Stone is a bad mamma okay? Roger Stone can handle himself, all right? Let's see, I can't remember. Roger Stone was involved with the Watergate break-in back in the day when he was working for Richard Nixon. And Roger Stone has gone on record saying how much he loves Nixon, you know, what a an honor it was to be working with him. And I know that he feels the same way about Donald Trump, okay? He loves Donald Trump. So if Donald Trump wanted him to end up in jail, then he would probably go. But I think that he would also do, this play, if that's what it is, you know. He would play along. Because what if this whole play is about showing that there must be some level playing field when it comes to the way that that people interact with the federal government? You can't just have all of these people like Brennan, Clapper, Hillary Clinton, Huma Abedin, all of the people involved with Spygate. Roger Stone did not work for Nexium. He actually had a part in taking down Nexium. I can pull up an article and we can read that too here. But, you know, what if this is about putting it on display that, you know, like, well, these people lied too. So why are they not having their doors broken down? I sure hope that that's it. But one good thing about the fact that Roger Stone was indicted is that it completely undercuts the Trump-Russia collusion narrative. Can someone in the stream give me a count of people that are watching? Because with this new setup, I'm unable to see it. All right, so the indictment against Roger Stone makes absolutely no allegation that the longtime Trump associate conspired with Russia or with WikiLeaks. Instead, Stone is accused of lying to Congress about communication he had with Trump campaign officials and other associates about his efforts to find out what information WikiLeaks had during the 2016 campaign. Now, the indictment appears to undercut some of the Democratic-backed conspiracies of a vast conspiracy between the Trump team and Russia to hack and disseminate emails stolen from the Demon Rats. One moment, guys. I got to take a vape break. And I just want you to know that I love you. Thank you, everyone who is here tonight. How does the picture look, guys? Is the stream smooth? Does it look nice? The special counsel's indictment of Roger Stone contains no allegation of a conspiracy to collude with Russia or to steal emails from Democrats, and appears to undercut some of the logic behind Democrats' collusion narrative. Stone, a longtime confidant of President Donald Trump, was indicted Friday on 7 counts. 5 counts of lying to Congress, 1 count of witness tampering, and 1 count of obstruction of a government proceeding. Special counsel Robert Mueller accuses Stone, a longtime political operative, of lying to the House Intelligence Committee and his communication with Trump campaign officials and other associates regarding WikiLeaks, which released emails that were stolen from the Democratic National Committee and Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. All right, so now that this has come out, John Podesta's name is out in the world again. John Podesta is back on the scene. John Podesta deserves to be arrested. All right? We all know that. I can't wait to see somebody in the federal government do something about it. Nothing happened to Podesta. Nothing happened to his brother. Only thing that's happened has been to Manafort and now to Stone. It's very, it can be disconcerting, okay? It can kind of rock you back on your heels. I was talking with my brother Guy today, and, he was like, what is happening? We've got this guy, Roger Stone, is arrested. We got Donald Trump caving. Oh, my God. And I was like, man, it's okay. And I explained some things to him, and he was like, you know what? Oh, thank God. It's not over, guys. John Podesta is dead. I sure hope that. No one mentioned Seth Rich. No one mentioned Seth Rich. You got John Podesta saying that he was willing to make an example of any leakers, whether they had evidence or not. Seth Rich is probably dead because of that, man. So, Special counsel Robert Mueller accuses Stone, a longtime political operative, of lying to the House Intelligence Committee about his communication with Trump campaign officials and other associates regarding WikiLeaks, which released emails that were released from the Democratic National Committee and John Podesta. John Podesta. He is evil. You guys, I also want to tell you that there's no ability to control the chat anymore. You can't put it on slow mode or anything like that. Gaia's Public Health Nurse, thank you so much for the super chat. The question of why Stone may have lied to Congress looms large over the indictment. Prepping Sapper says, two jurors always ready, be prepared for FF. That's right. Well, there is a reason that this happened today, okay? And we will definitely talk about that in a moment. And there was something else that happened. Comet Pizza burned down. Someone in the chat said that earlier. They sent it to me. I'm going to see if I can get it pulled up here because it's in my notifications, and I got like 1,000 notifications today. Let me see. Comet Pizza. Comet Ping Pong Pizza. A family-friendly joint. There we go. There's a good one from the Epic Times. I'm going to open it up over here. Okay. Oh, and it's not working for some reason. Well, we'll go to it on Twitter. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Who's saying that someone's dumb? No one is dumb. No one here is dumb. We just broke 1,000 viewers, guys. We're at 1,001. I think that number is correct. It says that my stream health is good, too. Good. So the question why Stone may have lied to Congress looms large over the indictment. Stone's critics are likely to accuse him of lying to protect Trump, his longtime friend, but the indictment, which was handed down under seal Thursday, cuts against the prevalent theory that the Trump campaign conspired directly with Russians to steal and release Democrats' emails. Now, this is the reason why I wonder if perhaps, hey, Michelle from Vile, how are you? This is the reason I think that maybe this might be an operation, okay? This might be a school play, if you will. Because Roger Stone's all over the news. And it's also now out there that his, indictments have absolutely nothing to do with Russian collusion. Russian collusion. Hey, Truth Not Fiction Matters. What's up, brother? Stone was arrested Friday morning during an FBI raid of his residence in Florida. He's not accused of conspiring with Russia or WikiLeaks to hack and release emails stolen from the Democrats. The indictment also makes absolutely no allegation that Stone had contact with Russians or knew that Russia was behind the hacks of the DNC and Podesta emails, because they weren't. They were not. Mueller indicted 12 Russian intelligence officers on July 13th, 2018 for hacking Democrats' emails and using WikiLeaks to release the documents, but that was bogus. We all know that. Stone has disputed claims that Russia was behind the hacks, because they weren't. Stone is also not accused of having contact with WikiLeaks or its founder, Julian Assange, or of lying to Congress in his September 26, 2017 testimony when he denied having any such contact. After being arraigned in federal court in Florida, Stone proclaimed his innocence and said he has been falsely accused of lying to Congress. He denied colluding with Russia or WikiLeaks and said he will plead not guilty to the special counsel's charges. The collusion cloud has hung over the Trump White House for more than 2 years. The most prominent allegation is found in the Steele dossier, which is total garbage. The unverified report financed by the DNC and Clinton campaign and published by BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed West, good evening. Things are not good for BuzzFeed, I'll tell you that much. NBC Universal just had to dump another like $60 million into them. They spent all their capital. BuzzFeed's not making any money. They have zero credibility. Angel, where's Angel? I didn't see Angel. Hello. The dossier alleges that the Trump campaign conspired directly with Russian operatives to release emails from Democrats. Russian operatives gave emails to WikiLeaks. No, they didn't, in order to create plausible deniability, according to the dossier. The alleged conspiracy was conducted with the full knowledge and support of Trump and senior members of the campaign team. Didn't happen. The dossier also claims that the campaign planned the release of DNC emails in order to swing supporters of independent Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont away from former Secretary of State Clinton. What about the fact that the DNC stole the election for Hillary Clinton? What about that? I can't believe that that's not a crime. Did you guys... Matthew Case, thank you for the super chat. 17 is the magic number, you guys. Christopher Steele, washed up MI6 agent, author of the dossier, also alleged that Michael Cohen, a lawyer for Trump at the time, traveled to Prague, and he didn't. He sure didn't. Pagan Patriot, thank you for the super chat. Trump did not cave. What he did was brilliant. He trapped the Dems into holding their end of the bargain and ensured the State of the Union. You're so right, and I'm going to be reporting on that in just a moment, buddy. It's butt feed. El Trias. It is butt feed. Thanks for the super chat. Both Page and Cohen have vehemently denied the dossier's allegations. Mueller's indictment stops far short of accusing Stone or others on the campaign of proactively hacking emails or directing them towards WikiLeaks. One question is why the Trump campaign would ask Stone to find out what information WikiLeaks had if Trump associates were directly involved in a scheme to hack and disseminate Democrats' emails. That's a great question. Why in the heck? Why in the heck would Donald Trump direct people on his team to get the information from WikiLeaks if they were behind the dissemination of said information? It doesn't make any sense. It makes absolutely no sense, you guys. Grant Smith, an attorney for Stone, responded to the indictment, saying it showed collusion did not occur. They couldn't find collusion, so they're trying to get him on an immaterial charge, Smith told the DCNF. It goes without saying Roger is going to fight this. Trump's attorney, Jay Sekulow, echoed that statement. The indictment today does not allege Russian collusion by Roger Stone or anyone else. Rather, the indictment focuses on alleged false statements made to Congress, Sekulow said in a statement. Andrew McCarthy, a former U.S. attorney and columnist for the National Review, said on Fox News, I read that indictment, and what it says to me is that the special counsel and the FBI have known for a year at least, probably much longer, that there is no espionage conspiracy, and there was none between the Kremlin and the Trump campaign. There was nothing. Nothing. Roger Stone's hair is weird. Yeah, he had like hair implants or something like that. The indictment does raise questions about who within the Trump campaign was aware of Stone's efforts to make contact with WikiLeaks. Prosecutors allege while Stone spoke with multiple Trump campaign officials about WikiLeaks, he falsely denied doing so during his House testimony. Stone also made false statements about two of his associates, Randy Credico and Jerome Corsi, with whom he discussed WikiLeaks' plans to release Clinton-related emails, according to the indictment. The indictment suggests that campaign officials did not kickstart the effort. Instead, it was Stone who began telling senior Trump campaign officials in June and July 2016 that he had information related to the group. Stone has noted that Assange has said publicly as early as June 2016 that WikiLeaks had Clinton emails. He repeated that claim throughout the summer. Remember, guys, the October surprise? I remember. After the July 22nd, 2016 release of DNC emails, the indictment says that a senior Trump campaign official was directed to contact Stone to find out more about the material WikiLeaks had. Yes, Marines serving Jesus Christ. You're right. That's exactly what this is. This is a parallel strategy for Trump to introduce evidence just like General Flynn. I think that Marines serving Jesus Christ is correct. The campaign officials are not identified in the indictment. Smith told the DCNF that he did not know who was being referenced. Stone is a former business partner of Paul Manafort, who served as chairman of the Trump campaign. Stone was also in contact with Trump himself. California Rep. Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff, Little Adam Schiff, the chairman of House Intelligence, oh, God, I hate saying that, said Friday that he will focus squarely on the campaign officials. Most significant is the Stone indictment is new info that a senior campaign official was directed in July 2016 to contact Mr. Stone about additional WikiLeaks releases, Schiff said in a statement. This was at the same time candidate Trump was publicly calling for Russia's help in obtaining Clinton's emails. Oh, my God. Adam Schiff is intolerable. I can't stand him so much. Stone is also accused of lying to Congress about his interactions with Credico and Corsi. Stone has claimed that Credico was his sole back channel to WikiLeaks. The pair exchanged text messages that show Credico, a left-wing activist who is friends with the WikiLeaks lawyer, provided tips about WikiLeaks' plans to release Clinton documents. But Stone failed to tell Congress about communication he had with Corsi about WikiLeaks. He asked Corsi, a right-wing author, on July 25, 2016, to try to make contact with Assange. Stone has said he sent that email after receiving information that originated with a Fox News reporter who claimed to have heard that WikiLeaks was planning to release Clinton Foundation documents. Corsi has claimed that Mueller is trying to prove he passed Stone information he received from WikiLeaks. While Corsi has denied having any contact with WikiLeaks or Assange, he has said he developed a theory in August 2016 that WikiLeaks had Podesta's emails. He asserts that he told Stone about this theory in August 2016. Stone denies the claim. I want to check out that Epoch Times article about Comet Pizza burning down. Where are you? Where are you? Comet Ping. Where'd it go? Comet Ping Pong. Oops, I spelled pong wrong. Here we go. Comet Ping Pong, restaurant of PZG fame, catches fire. Not going to say that one out loud. A fire broke out at the Comet Ping Pong Pizza restaurant in Washington at 9 a.m. on January 24th. So yesterday morning at 9 a.m. The restaurant gained nationwide fame after a man broke into the establishment with the GUN in December 2016, acting on a conspiracy theory triggered by the release of thousands of emails stolen from Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. The theory, we know the name, alleged that CPP and nearby restaurants engaged in child trafficking and other crimes involving high-level government officials. Yeah, just caught fire. Did not burn down. Well, this article kind of rehashes the whole thing. But it's interesting that Comet Ping Pong catches fire. We got a kitchen fire at Comet Ping Pong at 9 in the morning. And then the next thing you know, Roger Stone's getting arrested, and JP, John Podesta's back in the news. Well, again, from the Daily Caller, there's no direct contact with Assange alleged in the Stone indictment. There was nothing. It does vindicate his long-standing claim that radio host and associate Randy Credico was his main conduit of information regarding WikiLeaks. The indictment lists several text message exchanges in which Credico provides Stone with information on possible impending releases of damaging information by WikiLeaks. We're going to take a look at the indictment in a moment. Stone's alleged contact with WikiLeaks and Assange was a subject of serious inquiry for this special counsel, and has been the focus of rank speculation since the 2016 presidential election. Stone's detractors long suspected he was in direct contact with Assange, but he wasn't. Of course, there's still accusations of collusion, but there's nothing in the indictment. Stone is completely vindicated. There was no Russian collusion. Randy Credico texted Stone and said, "Big news Wednesday. Now pretend you don't know me." And that's how he got the information. Here is the indictment right here. Does anybody else think it's funny that his middle name's Jason? I never would have thought that Roger Stone's middle name was Jason. It just never occurred to me. Someone says insurance fraud at CP. It's also interesting that Comet Pizza, CP, we know what CP means. So this is a 28-page indictment. It's huge. They pack it with information, but it's a bunch of baloney. There's nothing in here. There's nothing in here of any substance. Least of all, any substance having to do with Russia, Russian collusion, any of that stuff. Now, you know the left is going to latch onto this like a baby at the teat, okay? But they've got nothing in it. How many people have been harassed on Twitter today by people saying, "I told you so"? You are all wonderful yesterday. As for prayers and the close, can you shut down? Oh, they're working 100%. Oh my God. Lisa Lady, I'm so happy to hear that. Everybody, there is substance in the power of prayer, okay? Prayer works. When you need a prayer, come to our chat and we will tell you about it. So I will leave a link to this entire indictment after the video, but you know, it's just a bunch of nothing. Well, this is potentially another reason why the raid went down today. Mueller and the FBI arrest Roger Stone because a major FBI scandal broke out today. FBI agent Pkwy linked to major FISA abuse scandal and General Flynn setup. What do you think of that? Every time the corrupt Mueller gang, FBI, and DOJ come out with a major news story, it is strategically synchronized to cover up another scandal involving their corrupt actions. Today's arrest of Roger Stone was no exception. Today, the corrupt Mueller gang arrested longtime friend of Trump, Roger Stone. He was arrested early in the morning, as the FBI always does. Another American attacked by the mobsters in the deep state due to his relationship with the president. But there was something more than coincidental about this arrest this morning. Not only was CNN there to film the arrest, proving again that the Mueller mobsters are colluding with members of the deep state and corrupt media, but there is something more. Hold on just a second, guys. I don't know where my OBS window went. Where is OBS? I don't know where my controller is for the stream. It's not here. Okay, well, I don't know how I'm going to shut it off when I get to the end. But at least it's still going. Wow, I don't know how it's going, guys, but it's working. Over the past couple of days, the testimony of former FBI General Counsel James Baker was released. Baker resigned, and he too was a crook and involved in deep state efforts to aid Hillary Clinton in her bid to become president and their attempted coup to remove President Trump after he defeated Hillary in the 2016 election. What Baker said was shocking, especially his testimony surrounding the missing corrupt FBI agent Joseph Pkwy. According to Brian Cates at the Epoch Times, the Baker testimony was explosive. Baker stated that the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court was not alerted to the fact that much of the information in the surveillance warrant on Trump campaign foreign policy advisor Carter Page was being provided by paid political propagandists employed by the Hillary Clinton campaign. To continue receiving Trump-Russia collusion propaganda from opposition research firm Fusion GPS and Christopher Steele, who had been hired by Fusion GPS on behalf of the Clinton campaign and the DNC, the FBI established a back channel through former Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce Orr at the Department of Justice. After every meeting with Steele, Orr would sit down for an interview with Special Agent Joseph Pkwy, who would fill out an official FD 302 interview form to pass on the information within the FBI. If you guys have been watching my coverage, you'll know that we covered that last week, I believe. According to Cates, it seems something spooked the Spygate plotters into presenting an appearance of drawing back from Christopher Steele and Fusion GPS, while still surreptitiously using that political propaganda shop as a source for their ongoing investigations. This back channel allowed the FBI to hide Fusion GPS's and the Clinton campaign's role in providing much of the evidence being used to drive these politically motivated investigations of Trump and his associates. Cates continued. The point was to launder Fusion GPS's Trump-Russia allegations through Orr to FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe and the lead agent on the Trump case, Peter Strzok, so it could be claimed the information was coming from a legitimate intelligence source instead of from paid political propagandists working for Hillary Clinton. This means it's highly likely that when Bruce Orr's personal notes from his meetings with Fusion GPS are compared to the original FD 302 interview forms that Agent Pkwy filled out following his interviews with Orr, they are not going to match when it comes to what the stated source was for the Trump-Russia information. For Pkwy to write down on the 302 forms that this information on Trump-Russia was being given by Orr was still coming from the Fusion GPS boys after the FBI had supposedly severed all ties with them would have defeated the entire reason for going to the trouble of establishing a back channel in the first place. Cates tweeted the point from this article where he states that Pkwy is involved in two major scandals involving the Trump-Russia collusion sham. These phony 302s he took from his discussions with Orr was one. Pkwy was also the agent, along with the very corrupt and now fired FBI agent Peter Strzok, who ambushed General Michael Flynn at the White House, which led to reports Flynn lied to the FBI. A whole lot of people assume the IG's office isn't really doing anything, and maybe sorta kinda hasn't even interviewed Pkwy yet. That's looking at this exactly backwards. Oh, they interviewed him all right, extensively, but what they found was so explosive. I've no doubt that at some time in the past year and a half, the DOJ Inspector General's office sat Pkwy down for extensive and detailed interviews about his dual roles in both the Lieutenant General Michael Flynn affair, he and Strzok interviewed Flynn, and with the Fusion GPS back channel to the FBI. What he told them must have been incredibly sensitive, since nobody has publicly seen or heard from Pkwy all this time, even though House and Senate committees have requested that the DOJ produce him for testimony. Whatever Inspector General Michael E. Horowitz's investigators discovered in their interview with Pkwy, they are keeping a very tight lid on that. Pkwy has now been revealed to be at the center of the beating heart of not just one big scandal in the FBI, but two big scandals. Number one, the General Flynn persecution, I'm going to say. And number two, the secret Fusion GPS FBI back channel. Of course, they've got him under oath on both of these. Cates believes that Pkwy has some very damaging goods on the entire Russia collusion sham, which may all be connected to Uranium One, the Iran deal, and other real Russian collusion actions taken by the Obama White House. This is why he was not interviewed by Congress, because they all know the Dems would leak and mislead any information from these investigations. Michael Bochensky, good work. God bless this work. God bless America, and may he bless the plan. Thank you so much, and thank you for the super chat. That's right. See, the reason that I'm not worried, guys, is because I know that this whole plan is anointed by God in the same way that Donald Trump is. Pardon me. God is driving this truck, okay? God is behind all of this. They tried to take over the country. They tried to take over the world, and they will not succeed. We are in the middle of dismantling, okay? Nearly 2,000 years of corruption. Think about that. Think about how many pieces of that puzzle have to be taken apart before it can be put back in that box. Today's corrupt actions by the Mueller gang, which was created as a result of the criminal acts taken by the FBI and DOJ to set up Trump-related individuals, is just another action by the very criminal and corrupt deep state to prevent real news from getting out. Hang in there, Roger Stone. It looks like you're unfortunately just a pawn in the deep state's corrupt and conflicted game to unseat President Trump. Yes, I have heard of Kim Clement. Definitely have heard of Kim Clement. Now, on the subject of reciprocity, James Clapper's perjury and why the D.C. made men don't get charged for lying to Congress. If you are a D.C. mafioso, you don't get in trouble. Okay? You're protected. Rod had to approve that raid. I know, and that's why I was saying, perhaps, and just like Marine for Christ said, maybe this is all about bringing this into the light. Okay? You get it on the record. You bring it out into the light. God is going to win. Patriots are going to win. We are going to win, my friends. I know that a lot of people get frustrated that it's not happening now. I've heard people say that if Donald Trump doesn't do this or Donald Trump doesn't do that, he's not going to have my vote in 2020. I'm confident that all these things, it's been about 5 minutes since you've vaped. I've been talking a lot. Too little, too late. I got to get that water, get my palate cleaned. Let's see here. Former National Intelligence Director James Clapper is about to celebrate one of the most important anniversaries of his life. March 13th will be the 5th anniversary of his commission of open perjury before the Senate Intelligence Committee. More importantly, it also happens to be when the statute of limitations runs out, closing any possibility of prosecution for Clapper. As the clock runs out on the Clapper prosecution, Democrats like Senator Cory Booker have charged that Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen committed perjury when she insisted that she could not recall if President Trump called Haiti and African countries a vulgar term. The fact is that perjury is not simply tolerated, it's rewarded. In Washington, in a city of made men and women, nothing says loyalty quite as much as lying under oath. I'm really surprised that USA Today is writing this article. Even in a city with a notoriously fluid notion of truth, Clapper's false testimony was a standout. Clapper appeared before the Senate to discuss surveillance programs in the midst of a controversy over warrantless surveillance of the American public. He was asked directly, does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans? There was no ambiguity or confusion, and Clapper responded, no, sir. Not wittingly. That was a lie, and Clapper knew it when he said it. El Trisac, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm glad you like my laugh. Later, Clapper said that his testimony was the least truthful statement he could make. That would still make it a lie. But of course, Clapper is a made guy. While feigned shock and disgust, most Democratic leaders notably did not call for his prosecution. Soon Clapper was back testifying, and former President Obama even put Clapper on a federal panel to review the very programs that he lied about in Congress. Brock Gross, amen, brother. If God is for us, who can be against us? The truth always comes out, and it's about time we have a voice. Amen. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. Clapper is now regularly appearing on cable shows which, for example, use Clapper's words as proof that Trump was lying and saying that there was surveillance of Trump Tower carried out by President Barack Obama. But we know there was. CNN and other networks used Clapper's assurance without ever mentioning that he previously lied about surveillance programs. The expiration of the statute of limitations for Clapper will have the benefit of conclusively establishing that some people in this city are just above the law. In a 2007 study, author P.J. Meidel found that almost no one is prosecuted for lying to Congress, unless you know Trump. Instead, he found only 6 people convicted of perjury or related charges in relation to Congress going back to the 1940s. The problem is not that the perjury statute is never enforced. Rather, it is enforced against people without allies in government. Thus, Roger Clemens was prosecuted for untrue statements before Congress. He was not given the option of giving the least untruthful answer. Another reason for the lack of prosecutions is that the perjury process is effectively rigged to protect officials against accusations of perjury or contempt before Congress. When an official like Clapper or Nielsen is accused of lying to Congress, Congress first has to refer a case to federal prosecutors, and then the administration makes the decision whether to prosecute its own officials for contempt or perjury. The result has almost uniformly been declinations to even submit such cases to a grand jury. Thus, when both Republicans and Democrats accused CIA officials of lying to Congress about the torture program implemented under former President George W. Bush, not a single indictment was issued. For Clapper, the attempt to justify his immunity from prosecution has tied officials into knots. After Clapper lied before Congress and there was a public outcry, Clapper gave his least untruthful answer justification. When many continued to demand a prosecution, National Intelligence General Counsel Robert Litt insisted that Clapper misunderstood the question. You gotta be kidding me. Still later, Litt offered a third rationalization, that Clapper merely forgot about the massive surveillance program. Oh my God. I cannot believe it. That's right, Clapper forgot one of the largest surveillance and unconstitutional programs in the history of this country. Litt did not explain why Clapper himself said that he knowingly chose the least untruthful answer. Litt added it was perfectly clear that he had forgotten the existence of the program. We all make mistakes. Of course, this mistake was an alleged felony offense. Clapper will establish a standard that will be hard to overcome in the future. He lied about a massive, unconstitutional surveillance program and then admitted that he made an untruthful statement. That would seem to justify the most particular prosecutor in submitting a case to a grand jury. But this is Washington. Wah, 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 wah. All right, so I was mentioning my buddy, God's Guy. And he had put this on Twitter. I wish people would read or listen to my words on the border wall. This was in no way a concession. This is in reference to President Donald Trump's announcement from the Rose Garden today. He says it was taking care of millions of people who were getting badly hurt by the shutdown, with the understanding that in 21 days, if no deal, it's off. That's right. President Trump made the announcement today that we are temporarily reopening the government. But it's not really a reopening of the government, okay? It's a 15-day furlough of the furlough. A lot of people got angry today. But I want you to remember, again, that President Trump is a really smart guy. President Donald Trump knows exactly what he's doing. He's the director of this grand play, of this incredible movie. What makes a good movie? Great actors, all right? President Donald Trump announced Friday that he will support a deal to temporarily reopen the government without any funding for the wall. The president said he would sign a measure reopening the government for 3 weeks through February 15th, something that would likely quickly pass through Congress. I am very proud to announce that we have reached a deal today to end the shutdown and reopen the federal government, the president asserted, thanking federal employees for their patience and explaining that he would work to get them back pay. I am asking Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to put this proposal on the floor immediately, Trump continued. After 36 days of spirited debate and dialogue, I have seen and heard from enough Democrats and Republicans that are willing to put partisanship aside, I think, and put the security of the American people first. The president indicated that after the government reopens, lawmakers would review a Homeland Security package put together by law enforcement officials. Two sources close to the process told the Daily Caller that the White House's appetite for a deal increased after announcements from the FAA that flights were experiencing delays because of staffing issues related to the shutdown. Friday also marks the second missed paycheck for the 800,000 federal workers affected by the shutdown, another point of pressure for the president. Democrats blocked multiple motions from Republicans this week to make sure federal employees got paid while the government is closed, because they don't care about the American people. Trump's announcement is a serious reversal from just 2 days ago. Now, I'm going to break from the Daily Caller right here, okay? Because it's not a reversal. when he indicated to conservative leaders during a White House meeting that he had no interest in caving to Democratic demands or ending the government shutdown. The president made similar claims that he would not back down in a conference call earlier that day, urging his supporters to defend his position on television and radio. A House GOP aide told the D.C. that the White House was likely on edge after the 2 failed spending votes in the Senate on Thursday. 6 Republicans defected and voted for the Democrat bill, increasing pressure on the White House to drop its demand for wall funding before reopening the government. However, the aide made clear that conservatives in Congress were still attempting to convince the president not to agree to a deal without wall funding as of Friday morning, and that the president's reversal was a surprise. There is something behind this, and we'll go over that in a minute. Conservatives are pushing the White House to stick with the no-wall, compromise, no-deal approach, the aide said prior to Trump's announcement. Democrats are trying to muddy the water with the open up the government and then we'll negotiate offer, which never works. Now, they have repeatedly said, just open the government and we'll negotiate. Open the government and we'll negotiate. Well, now the president has opened the government for 3 weeks. And if they don't negotiate, then it is clearly on them. Okay? To me, it's already crystal clear. A Senate GOP aide confirmed that conservative lawmakers were trying to convince the president to hold the line, but explained that presidential advisor Jared Kushner and more moderate Republicans like South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham were internally pushing the president to make a deal. The conservatives were unsuccessful in their efforts to sway the president, per Trump's announcement. The 2 sources close to the process explained that the White House saw no reasonable path forward to secure border funding without drastic measures, but officials did not rule out a future declaration of a national emergency. Trump noted during his speech Friday that he has a very powerful alternative if Congress does not adequately fund border security after the government is opened. And this is it. Okay? President Trump says if we don't get a deal from Congress, the government will either shut down on February 15th again, or I will use the powers afforded to me under the laws and the Constitution of the United States to address this emergency. Let me see if I can pull up this video on my phone and then play it for you guys. Okay. Where are you, Ryan? Okay, here we go. No, that's a different video. Oh. Here we go.
A fair deal.
Okay, I'm going to play the video. 1, 2, 3, sync.
If we don't get a fair deal from Congress, the government will either shut down on February 15th again, or I will use the powers afforded to me under the laws and the Constitution of the United States to address this emergency.
All right. He's going to have to use his constitutional powers because we all know that in the next 3 weeks, the government is going to open up and the Democrats are going to continue to obstruct. They are not going to make a deal. Exactly, Roman Hoax. Your move, Demon Rats. Your move, Nancy Pelosi. Jim W. Oh, hey, man. Yeah, of course. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. I do appreciate that. Yes, and you know, Jim says, thanks for always getting back with me. I just, you know, I don't know. Sometimes people are afraid to maybe message me because they're afraid that I'm not going to, you know, maybe I'm not going to have time, you know, but I have some time during the day where I always go in and I try to make sure that I respond to people who message me. And, hey, Vivian, you made it. Woo, LJ, you made it. But President Trump knows that the Democrats are not going to make a deal. They will continue to obstruct. And he does not want to risk another shutdown and putting out more families, putting out more employees. Okay? Hi, Sands. Thank you for saying this is the best channel. I appreciate that. I love you guys. So what has President Trump done? He's given them a 21-day noose for them to hang themselves with. All right? This is what Guy and I were talking about earlier today. We the people, we love our president, we love our people, we love our country, we love our Lord Jesus. That's right. Guy's on point, you guys. You need to check him out on Twitter. He's got some good stuff out there. He makes memes and everything. But the Democrats have 21 days to hang themselves yet again. All right? And when that 21 days is up, President Trump is not going to shut the government down again. He will call the national emergency, and we will have the Army Corps of Engineers build the wall. All right? We've got the money. We've got the material. We got the manpower. This is going to happen. All right? Now, in a report from CNN backing up what I'm saying, the White House is preparing a draft national emergency order and has identified $7 billion for the wall. $7 billion, you guys. I'm going to take this moment to remind everyone to make sure that you have subscribed, make sure that you have notifications on. YouTube has stripped a whole bunch of my subscribers away. So, excuse me, make sure that you're not one of them. Make sure that you are subscribed and that the notifications are on so that you get the notification when I go live and when I put out new videos. Well, the White House is preparing a draft proclamation for President Donald Trump to declare a national emergency along the southern border and has identified more than $7 billion in potential funds for his signature border wall should he go that route, according to internal documents reviewed by CNN. Where the heck did CNN get these documents? Who's the leaker? I know, right, guys? It's CNN. But I just wanted to say that even CNN is saying this. CNN is reporting on this. I haven't seen this reported anywhere else. But Trump has not ruled out using his authority to declare a national emergency and direct the Defense Department to construct a border wall as Congress and the White House fight over a deal to end the government shutdown. But while Trump's advisors remain divided on the issue, the White House has been moving forward with alternative plans that would bypass Congress. Again, guys, it takes some time to get something like this put together. They can't just put it together in a day. Excuse me. So while the government shutdown has been happening, all right, it's been freeing up some time. He's got his core group of people who are willing to work, and he's done it. The massive amount of aliens who unlawfully enter the United States each day is a direct threat to the safety and security of our nation and constitutes a national emergency. A draft of a presidential proclamation reads. What they have read an actual draft. Now, therefore, I, Donald J. Trump, by the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, including the National Emergencies Act, hereby declare that a national emergency exists at the southern border of the United States, the draft adds. Maru, President Trump, if you help us to kick Maduro and all his thieves, we build your Mexican wall and paint it too. Here, Venezuelan. Oh, this is our friend from Venezuela. You guys, hopefully Maru is going to be on the show sometime next week, and we're going to be talking about what's going on in Venezuela. I actually have a video about what's going on in Venezuela that's going to be coming out tomorrow morning. So if you guys want to see some footage of that, you can check it out then. Oh, no, wait. Or did I already cover that? I don't know. I got a video coming out in the morning. Either way, guys. I can't remember what it's about. The draft was updated as early as last week, a U.S. government official told CNN. According to options being considered, the administration could pull $681 million from Treasury forfeiture funds, $3.6 billion in military construction, $3 billion in Pentagon civil work funds, and $200 million in Department of Homeland Security funds, the official said. As lawmakers discussed a short-term measure to fund the government Thursday, Trump again raised the prospect of other ways to fund a border wall without congressional approval. I have other alternatives if I have to, and I'll use those alternatives if I have to, he told reporters. A lot of people want this to happen. The military wants this to happen. This is a virtual invasion of our country, Trump said. The Defense Department referred a request for comment from CNN to the White House. If the declaration is made, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, boom, would be deployed to construct the wall, some of which could be built on private property and would therefore require the administration to seize the land, which is permitted if it's for public use. The administration plans acknowledge the possibility for lawsuits if they move forward with acquiring private property. The documents also reflect a sense of urgency with administration plans, noting that environmental reviews can be skipped and the DHS can use waivers to bypass contracting laws. If the president proceeds with the declaration, it'll likely be challenged in court and by Democrats in Congress, as critics have argued that Trump cannot use the National Emergency Authority to free up taxpayer funds and build the border wall he has long promised his political supporters. Now, I was also thinking about this earlier today, guys. Since this is going to be fought by the Democrats and it will go to court, what if this is also being drawn out because we need to wait until we have that solid majority on the Supreme Court? Okay, because it's going to go all the way to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's going to be the one to decide on it. And we would need, Donald Trump would need to make sure that it is a 100%, 100% that it's going to happen in order for it to go to the Supreme Court. Lady Q, what's up, my friend? Wait, there's a new Q drop? No way. Is there a new Q drop while I'm live? Oh my God. We got to check. I'm going to check for us, guys, so nobody leave. qmap.pub. No new Q drops. The draft, excuse me. The draft document cites Title 10 of the U.S. Code, which allows Trump to unlock a stash of Pentagon funds that are earmarked but have no signed contracts for spending that money. That would give the president authority to pull from military construction funds and civil work projects like infrastructure repair projects. Representative Dan Crenshaw, Republican of Texas, tweeted earlier this month that acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney assured Texans that he understood the deep concerns about using Harvey relief funds for the border. CNN previously reported that the Pentagon was asked to provide a list of those projects in anticipation of a national emergency. The Pentagon has assisted the Department of Homeland Security in the past. For example, the Army Corps of Engineers, a federal agency within DoD that provides public engineering services, has helped evaluate prototypes of the border wall. I got a notice from Red Pill 78. Is there another channel? No, this is the only channel I have. Are you, Janet Baker, are you saying that you got a notice for a different video while you were in this video? I haven't released a video while I was on here. I wonder if YouTube sent another notification. Tommy Vise, thanks for the super chat, brother. Appreciate that. Options under consideration conceded that acquiring private property would take time. Even if voluntary, the land could take up to a year to be acquired. Land condemnation cases are known to take time because property owners have the right to sue. A national emergency declaration would not speed that process up, a government official says. Customs and Border Protection has said that it would consider eminent domain in the future. It is always CBP's preference to acquire property through a voluntary negotiated sale. The government will attempt to negotiate an offer to sell using survey data and value estimates gleaned from the surveying process. Reads an excerpt in a border wall Q&A on their site. The government will attempt to negotiate an offer to sell before moving forward with exercising eminent domain. However, if the government and landowner are unable to reach a negotiated sale, or if the government is unable to obtain clean title, the government will need to file an eminent domain action. Now, this story is also remarkable because CNN did not trash Trump. There is not one negative thing about Trump in this story, okay? Maybe nothing. I don't want you as much as I want, but keep up the good work. Well, Ellipse Orange, thank you for the super chat, and you know, there's nothing holding you back, my friend. I put out 2 videos a day, so you've got all the time in the world, but I'm sure that you have things going on in your life. But I do appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate you watching tonight. I appreciate the super chat. Christine Siebel, my good friend, Christine Siebel, one of my #1 fans. Where we go one, we go all. That's right. Now, of course, you guys know I had to do a follow-up on the Covington kids. Do you guys know this POS right here? Michael Rappaport. He used to be a good actor until he started opening his mouth. Look what he says. Kentucky Catholic School. I'm not even going to read that word, but you guys can see it. And then he hashtag MAGA, so it'll show up in people's feeds. So he was live, did a live stream, said some choice things. But it says here that Michael Rappaport is on the list of possible individuals who may be sued for defamation by the Covington MAGA kids. I sure hope that happens. Michael Rappaport received quite the response after making this rambunctious video calling the Covington MAGA children numerous derogatory terms, including that word right there. Now the Netflix actor may have to pay out of his own pocket for his actions. A team of very high-profile lawyers are joining together to fight for justice for the Covington Catholic High School students who were ruthlessly attacked by the media following a school trip to D.C. for the March for Life. LJ, thank you for the super chat, buddy. I'm glad you're here. According to lawyer Robert Barnes, who is representing several of the families, the team will include at least 5 lawyers from 5 different law firms, all with a record of high-profile civil cases. Roger Sloan checking in from South Carolina. Thank you for the info, and thank you for the super chat, Roger. We cannot yet report the names of the lawyers who are joining forces, but we can assure you that you have heard of their cases. When asked about who exactly they are planning to sue out of the hundreds of celebrities and journalists who defamed these boys, Barnes confirmed that former CNN host Reza Aslan, actor Michael Rappaport, and ABC News senior political analyst Matthew Dowd are on the list for starters. Yep, and they're doing it for free, guys. They're doing it pro bono. Lev, you can just ask a question, dude, and I'll probably see it. But thank you for the super chat, buddy. I don't know how you do it either. I think that you have to put in your question and then hit the money button. Ladies and gents, 52 likes. Oh my gosh, only 52 likes, guys. Where are you? I got 1,224 people in here. All I need is for all of you guys to like it, and then it'll be shared by YouTube. It will end up in people's suggested feeds. That's very important, you guys. If you hit that like button, it makes YouTube decide to put this out to other people. And yes, RH Negative Truther, it does take a special type of lowlife to attack a kid. These people are not human, though. There's no word on if Twitter will be holding Rappaport accountable for posting this video on their platform. However, historically, the social media site has banished for equal or seemingly less hateful speech. In fact, the infamous Roger Stone had his Twitter taken away for referring to an adult in a similar manner. Mark Dice, I love Mark Dice. Jack, why did you permanently ban Roger Stone for calling Don Lemon a certain gay slur, but allow Michael Rappaport's video using the same term aimed at the innocent Covington boys to stay up? We're on to you, Jack. Nelsie Ayala. Nelsie, are you asking me a question about the number 30? Lady Q, Red Pill, you must be doing something right. They are out in full force to take you down. Not cool. From Texas. Love you too, Lady Q. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you for the super chat, Nelsa. I do appreciate it. Thank you, Billy Patterson. You made it. Sent you something else that would be fun to follow. A couple of videos with the same subjects. Thank you so much, and thank you for the super chat. Billy is a great person. All of you guys, man, I hope that you guys all find each other on Twitter and follow each other. Just go to the people that I'm following. The only time that I don't follow people is if they don't have a picture and they don't have any tweets. Let's see. Are you guys saying I have 689 people or I have 689 likes? Oh, sweet. That's awesome. Red Pill, there's a video called The Red Pill. Okay, yeah, I've seen lots of stuff about the Red Pill, Vivian. There was a guy out there who was kind of reposting my videos, but he would just like do like a little segment of it and just show a little bit. And so, you know, that's not so bad. As long as people aren't just like taking my whole video and putting it out there. Wow, you guys, over 700 likes now. Thank you so much. That's great. I love you guys. Let's see. This person, Vahi Avitistan. You're not treating us all with the same rights and respect. You banned Roger Stone for calling Don Lemon that word, but wouldn't ban Michael Rappaport after he did the same to the innocent Covington boys. You should man up and let us have our freedom of speech or close Twitter. Yep, exactly. Jack says, we're committing Twitter to help increase the collective health, openness, and civility of public conversation and to hold ourselves publicly accountable towards progress. Jack... There's so many birds singing, Jack. Twitter has already taken away Rappaport's podcast, I Am Rappaport, page off their platform, although it is not known how long the suspension is for. There has been no report from Twitter that Michael Rappaport's main account, Michael Rappaport will be affected. As for Rappaport himself, he seems unapologetic and may even be more aggressive after being called out for his disparaging remarks towards children. I love you too, Lady Q. I love all you guys. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Red Pill, do you think there's any advantage of President Trump eventually forming his own political party? Yeah, I think there totally could be. I think that President Trump could definitely form his own party, you know? But, I mean, I think that right now the level of awakening is such that people may be nervous about leaving the Republican Party. Nelsie, thank you so much for the super chat. Is that what you're trying to do before? Ask me a question. If you've got a question, the question's all yours, hon. Thank you so much for the super chat. You know, I think that, yes, I think that President Donald Trump could very easily start his own party, but I think that we have to have the entire system broken down first, all right? Let's see. My response to deplorable snowflakes, Kurt Schilling, Scott Baio, Real James Woods talking out pocket about me. What does that even mean, guys? Let's see. Prepping Sapper, love your comments. Good to hear your point of view. Thank you so much. You know, I really enjoy giving this little commentary to you guys. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. This is a lot of fun for me. So Michael Rappaport, he's a scumbag. I hope that guy gets taken down. Now, this is something that I think is extremely... My Twitter, you guys, is RedPill78. At RedPill78. REDPILL, the number 7, the number 8. Massachusetts AG calls out powerful family behind OxyContin amid state lawsuit. This is great. This is great. Massachusetts Attorney General Maura Healey spoke out about the state's lawsuits against Purdue Pharma and members of the Sackler family in an interview with CBS News Thursday. They don't want to accept blame for this. They blame doctors, they blame prescribers, and worst of all, they blame patients. That's right. Okay? These are the people who started the OxyContin epidemic in this country. I so wish I could play you guys this video, but the suit was first filed in June, alleging that the company misled doctors and patients about the risks of opioids to increase prescriptions. It's one of many such suits that have been filed against Purdue Pharma in relation to its marketing of opioid products, including moneymaker OxyContin. I would be a Trumpican too. The Phyllis of Pfizer. Thank you so much, man. Speaking truth in a blue-collar man's language. That's right. Thank you for the super chat. You know, the thing is, we've got the media, we've got all these elites talking down to us all the time, thinking that we're too stupid to realize what's going on. We know, okay? The only thing that people, Nelsie, oh, my first time, so I was fumbling. I just wanted to thank you for your dedication and commitment to get out the truth in such an informative and powerful way from the heart. Thank you. God bless. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate everything that you guys do to make it possible for me to be here. You guys, redeemed by Christ. Love you too, hon. So they think that, you know, that we don't understand, that we don't know what's going on. All right. But people were asleep because they were force-fed propaganda for so long. All right. Sean Jackson, good for you, buddy. Good for you. You know, guys, I don't drink or use drugs either. All right. And there's a reason for that. Maybe I'll get into that someday. But, you know, there's something about waking up and being present, all right? Being present for your life, all right? And I know that there's a lot of people out there who have to take medications, you know, have to take prescription pain medicines. But, you know, they have to take it because their doctors put them on it, all right? My mother had a friend who worked for this company, for Purdue. Roger Sloan, this is off subject, but do you have a profile video where you are from, etc.? Been listening for a couple months, and you are one of only 4 news channels I follow. Thank you, Roger. You know what? I don't. I only tell a little bit about my life, or like who I am, where I'm from, and that's because mostly I'm I'm scared of you know, the left attacking. You know, I don't want to be in the spotlight. I don't want to get doxxed. I want to be able to talk openly and honestly with you guys and share, you know, everything that I can, and not have to worry about having, you know, my life ripped apart. So I hope you guys can understand that, because if it wasn't this way, I wouldn't be able to be here. Andrew Samuel says, thank you for all you do and responding to my email about the Actors Building. That's right, Andrew. Thank you so much. And there are more responses coming there. Don't worry about that. You guys, I also want to make sure you have my email address. It's redpill78@protonmail.com. So if you guys have, like leads or anything that you want to send me, if you got research that you want to send me, then you can go ahead and do that. So yeah, I mean, it's like you go to the doctor and the doctor says, take this, okay? It's safe. It's a prescription, so you can trust it. I'm a doctor. I take an oath. All right? And you can't trust the people that tell you that you can trust them, okay? That's just it. Insignia Gate. I've been reading a lot about this. I have not heard of Insignia Gate, so send me something about that. But anyways, my mother had a friend that worked for Purdue. All right. And when OxyContin was just coming on the scene, he told her that they knew that it was better than heroin. That was his words. He said OxyContin is better than heroin, and they knew it. All right. They put this out there into the world, and they knew exactly what was going to happen. They knew that people were going to get hooked, and people were going to become addicts, people were going to die, and they were going to make money. All right. So, long story short, I've had people in my life die from this stuff. It's affected me directly, and as a result of that, I choose to live the way that I want to. All right. And I could not be here in the way that I am unless I continued to live this way, and I continued to allow myself to be filled with the fire that I am. And that's only through God's will and grace. At a January 15th filing by Healy, a Democrat who was the first evidence that appears to tie the Sacklers to specific decisions made by the company about the marketing of OxyContin, the New York Times reported. The suit names at least 8 members of the Sackler family directly. It's pretty reprehensible conduct, Healy told CBS News. The January 15th filing draws from previously unseen emails in which Richard Sackler, the former president of Purdue Pharma, encouraged obfuscation in response to concern about the addictive powers of prescription opioids, reported the Times. We have to hammer on abusers in every way possible. Look at this, disgusting. Sackler wrote in a 2001 email quoted in the filing. They are the culprits and the problem. They are reckless criminals. No, Mr. Sackler, you're the criminal. Oh my God, Brittany's one with Christ. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that. I think that there's many people in this chat who have lost someone to heroin or to opiates. Because, it's everywhere now. Fentanyl, yes, Jazz fan. The thing is that they are bringing in cheap fentanyl from China. Only very recently was it even labeled coming in from China. And they would mix it up with heroin, and then they would sell it to people, and people wouldn't know how strong it was. All it takes is one grain, like a grain of salt of fentanyl, and that's enough to kill you. The suit distorts critical facts and cherry-picked from among tens of millions of emails and other business documents, Purdue Pharma has said, according to CBS News. If Purdue thinks we're cherry-picking, I invite them to produce all of their documents and let the public judge for themselves, Healy said. Purdue Pharma has been accused of helping create the opioid crisis through its aggressive marketing of its products. Members of the Sackler family escaped legal consequences when Purdue Pharma executives pleaded guilty in 2007 to charges that the company had misrepresented the risks of OxyContin, reported the New York Times. The company and 3 top executives paid a historically large $634.5 million in fines. The Sacklers have given away millions for science, medicine, and the arts in recent years, but a 2017 Daily Caller News Foundation investigation found no evidence the family is using its vast personal wealth to help recovering opioid addicts. The Sacklers were the 19th richest family in the U.S. in 2016, with an estimated $13 billion net worth, according to Forbes. OxyContin was Purdue Pharma's biggest revenue stream, with $35 billion in sales between 1995 and 2015. These people are legal drug addicts. legal drug dealers. More than 40,000 people died of opioid-related drug overdoses in 2016, according to the National Institute of Drug Abuse. Nearly half of those deaths involved legally obtained prescription medications, according to the National Institute of Healthcare Management. Purdue Pharma is issued the following statement to the DCNF when it requested comment about pending litigation. Marine serving Jesus Christ, good for you, buddy. Good for you. Keep going. It works if you work it. How'd you do it? One day at a time. Purdue Pharma shares the public's concerns regarding the opioid addiction crisis, and we are committed to working collaboratively with all those affected by this public health crisis on meaningful solutions to help stem the tide of opioid-related overdose deaths. Lies. Purdue's led industry efforts to combat prescription drug abuse, which has included collaborating with law enforcement, funding enhancements and improvements to state prescription drug monitoring programs, and directing healthcare professionals to CDC's guideline for prescribing opioids for chronic pain. In addition, we've recently announced educational initiatives aimed at teenagers warning of the dangers of opioids, and we continue to fund grants to law enforcement to help with accessing naloxone and other efforts to bring over-the-counter naloxone to the market. So what they're doing, they're also they are also profiting off of naloxone, you guys. So they create the problem, reaction, solution, the Hegelian dialectic. The 12 steps works, that's right. Dawn has broken, that's right. So they have created the problem, they offer the solution, and now here you go. They make money. They make money coming and going, coming and going. We recognize that more needs to be done. And also, telling teenagers about, how awesome it is to take OxyContin or Vicodin. Diana Davenport, hey, good to see you, hon. Glad you made it. I didn't know if you were out there. So, yes, no, it's hard to have a good life with chronic pain. No, you're right. Opioids are powerful medicines. They are created for specific needs. All right? But what these people did is they encouraged doctors to prescribe it like candy. They gave it to people that did not need it, okay? In just like average everyday pain, okay? Like, certain types of things that they prescribe opioids for, like taking Tylenol and taking a, what is it called? A Vicodin. They are like adequately the same, okay, when it comes to the amount of pain relief that they give. But they started started giving them away, okay? And they did it because they would get perks, okay? You've got these pharmaceutical reps that go into a doctor's office that say, hey, if you prescribe, OxyContin, we're going to give you a trip to the Bahamas. We're going to give you a bag of golf clubs. We're going to put you on a cruise. They get a kickback. Kratom. Yep, Kratom is a great alternative. If anyone out there is suffering from opioid addiction, any type of addiction, all right, Kratom, it works. Kratom is a member of the same class of plants that in the coffee family. And it's legal in many states. CBD oil is great, especially for anxiety. I used to have bad anxiety, and it took some time and took some work, okay? But medicines are not the only way. There are so many things out there that you can do, all right? And we have just been conditioned to go to the doctor to get a prescription. I don't trust the doctor a lot of the times. I'll be real honest with you. Beyond the Sleeping Giant says, thanks for your great work and insightful commentary and for continuing to cover the Covington story. I stand with Covington and Nick Sandman. Thank you for the super chat and thank you for saying that. Okay, live free or die. I work with the doctors. I know. Okay, so I'm not lying here. Doctors, it's a racket. Okay? It's the same with Washington. All right. Oh, we're going to put in a pipeline here because my friend owns the company and they own the land, so they're going to get the contracts. It's all about back scratching. And it's all at the detriment of the American people, for us, okay? You've got all of these people sitting in prison because they were turned into a drug addict. They started selling drugs to support their habit. Then they get sent to prison, and then somebody makes money on them going to prison. And then you've got the court system All right. And then it's a self-perpetuating cycle. They do not get rehabilitated in the criminal justice system. They just get recycled back into it. And then it just keeps going. All right. And you got doctors making money. You got the pharmaceutical companies making money. Everybody's making money on Americans, on people. We are a commodity to them. We are not people. We are not human to them. Purdue Pharma, I hope that they get put out of business.